Don't you love when I seamlessly transition from thumbnail into gameplay? Look at that. What insane craftsmanship. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. This is round one of the NSP, aka DDC Supercross Championship, and we are at what was my hometown. I've now moved a bit further north, a couple of hours north, but we are at Wembley Stadium. Now, I have been to two UK Arena Cross rounds in my life. One of them was at Wembley Arena Cross, which is in an arena right next door to Wembley Stadium. So I was very, very close to this place. So it's very cool seeing it being brought to life in MX Bikes. And this video is a little bit different to the pre-season one. This one is going to be raw reaction. So like any other track video that I do on the channel usually, spin some initial first laps. And I just want to say before we get into this is such a cool track layout. Obviously you've got the main floor of the stadium here, but we go in and out of the stadium not once but twice in different areas. So here, this is one absolutely huge double. I'm guessing it's downside here, and you want to go double up again. You then hit the finish line, hit this back section at the top. You then drop back down here, and I can't imagine how much speed we're going to get. We get down, we yeet, and I imagine we might be able to quad all the way out. We might be flat landing this. I imagine, unless he's put an invisible barrier up here, we'll see what happens as we get riding. And then, not just that once out, we also go out twice. So we got a little section here, then what looks to be a bit of a difficult whoop section, and then you come back in again to the stadium after all this for a final time. So a fairly long lap, a lot to remember, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, just on raw impressions alone, I feel like track layout of this looks even better than the pre-season one did, and hopefully it will entice a lot more people to give it a go as well. So without further ado, let's get into it and try and spin some laps. So one thing that Aiden has kindly done for us on round one that he didn't have, or we didn't have done on round 0, is we have changed the date of the races. So originally it was something on Tuesdays, I believe. Now it has been changed to Sundays. So it should allow some more people to be able to give it a go, people from US time zone. Of course, people do ride IRL on Sundays, but then there's various people that are busy on different days IRL anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. And for me, my time, the track drop is at 7:30 PM. So as long as I'm not racing IRL on the Sunday, and even if I am, I need to try and drive home in a hurry to be able to get back and make it in time for the streams. But I think we're going to have a pretty damn good time. Find out a couple of the kinks with round 0. People kind of know what they're in for now. I noticed on round 0, the pre-season round, a couple of people saying that the track felt a little bit too tight. I have a feeling that might just be to do with the track layout and how the stadium was, because already on this, even though the scaling of the jumps and the turns are exactly the same as round 0, it feels a little bit more open, like old school DDC style of track. So I want to try and do my best job to run some clean laps around here for you all, to just be able to showcase it in the best way possible. I feel like videos like this go a long way when it comes to people's decision making on if they are going to invest in buying a track or not. So hopefully, actually, can track creators edit a page once they've already posted it? I have no idea, because I know this track's gone up already. The track went up yesterday. That does go there. The track went up yesterday, but then obviously I'm making this for now on race day, so I don't know if Aiden will be able to add this to it or not. We'll see. I'm mixing things up again today. I'm just kind of going through the arsenal of bikes that the game has to offer. I'm right. You might be able to triple that. Next lap, I'm going to try and remember to just go full send and see if I can triple that. If I crash, I crash. It's not the end of the world. We can always respawn again. I'm just going through the arsenal of bikes that the game has to offer. I'm rocking the Husky 450 here. If anybody remembers last year's Supercross season, I think the Husky was a very, very viable option, at least for me. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was, I think, my most used bike over the course of all the rounds. So let's see if we can quad this. Oh, a little bit short there. I do think the Husky's a bit slower in a straight line than, say, a Yami or a Fantic. So there is definitely a world where you might be able to quad that whole thing on one of the bigger bikes. Or there might also be a world where you come up just barely short, because knowing how Aiden is and how much he tests his tracks, he might have decided, no, I don't want people doing this, you're going to hit it this way instead. And that is the way that you end up doing it. I'm just going to try and hit some alternative rhythms as well as we get going through here. Little step up and over this tunnel jump, then blitz a second whoop section. That seems to be another key feature on a lot of these tracks Aiden's made over the years, is having 2 sets of whoops throughout it. And I do think it's the most important thing to get a bike set up for in the entirety of the game, is to get through the whoops well. And thankfully, I have fallen back onto what I think was last year's suspension that I was rocking on this Husky that gets me through the whoops very, very nicely. So no problem there at all. I think the only real downside that I find on the Husky these days is it does tend to be a bit on the slippery side, so it doesn't hook up quite as well as the Yamaha does, for example. But overall, it's not too shabby. It does have good handling, but it might be a bit too agile, if you know what I mean. You've got to find a good balance. In the same way, when I rode the Suzuki, I didn't send the triple, goddammit, maybe next up. The same way I rode the Suzuki at Washougal the other day, the actual power of the bike wasn't terrible. It's definitely slower than the current meta bikes for a reason. They wouldn't be meta bikes if that wasn't the case. But the thing that really let it down was it felt a little bit too nimble sometimes. When the road comes in and you've got to be super precise, the bike just wanted to jump around a little bit too much. But I'm tempted, I might experiment with different bikes for the rest of this outdoor season, you know, just to make it a bit more enticing, a bit more appealing. It might make it more fun for you guys to watch as well, just seeing a little bit of different colour on your screens. I wonder if I get that outside line nicely, if I can triple in here. This rhythm section right here that I'm in, ones like this where it's just before a whoop section, you need to make sure that you get them perfect, because if you mess them up and you then go mess the whoops up after that, it'll be a hell of a lot of time. So there you go, triple quad is an alternative rhythm through there. If I check up here, we can hit this inside. Can I step over? Can I triple after that? I can, and then triple out. Nice, it's clean. So we've got, again, some good alternative rhythms as well. If you get out of rhythm in one place, you can rebound again, like just roll one jump and then triple after that, and you're back into a fast line. And quad all the way into the corner here. Do we step? No, we triple. Oh my god, almost quadded out. I think we go triple, and then you can quad down to here, then quad and then double. Let me turn around and try that. I like experimenting with different lines like this. So we are just going to go on off here. So I need to make sure I downside this triple in nicely, so I need to scrub it a little bit. Still went too far. That's definitely doable. Definitely doable. This rhythm in particular gives me the same sort of vibes as the very back outside section from round 0, where the triple in was actually really, really easy to do, so you have to judge it and get your speed just right. Even then I overjumped it as well. So I do think that's the move though. Triple in, then quad again, and then double into the corner and land here. Got a little roller there as a double. I'm gonna go triple, single into here. Can you step? I think going step over triple there would be quicker than going on, off, double, because you're only doing it in 2 jumps rather than 3. So if you open this up a bit more, step over, yes, then triple, nice, try an apex of this. This one here is going to be a bit techie, hitting the little switchback. And then I'm guessing double, triple is going to be the move, unless people want to rail the outside there and go triple, double instead. Double in, triple again, quad all the way into the corner. Little tap the back brake, nice. And now I'm going to try and send this and see if we can triple it. Oh, that's so close. That is so doable. Again, this is just initial first reactions, by the way, gamers. I haven't sat here for the 30 minutes or so of practice and then a whole another 30 minutes of qualifying. I dread to think what kind of lap times these top boys are going to get. I also think you can quad into that section. Some people aren't going to agree with my definition of quad, and this is an ongoing debate and has been in the motocross community for as long as I can remember. If I'm stepping over this table here, I'm still calling it a quad, I'm not calling it a triple. So you can, 100%, you can step over there, and you might be able to go quad double or quad triple double. I'm not sure which way round it is. But I am a fan of having longer rhythm sections as well. And the fact that we now go outside of these stadiums, that does enable you to have the flexibility to create longer rhythm sections as well. You're not limited by the dimensions of the stadium itself. So overall, I think a very, very good thing. And I already said to me before even pre-season started that every single round of this championship does go outside the stadium. So if people enjoy that, then you're going to enjoy this whole thing. This whole shebang. Let's take it to the outside here. I'm going to step on, step off, step over, double again. I'm going to try and, rather than mess around with lines now, I just want to try and get some flow going, show off the track nicely. Triple in. I do need to try and downside this triple into here smooth though. Triple, There we go, it's a good downside. Quad! Oh, I just tagged the back end a little bit. Thankfully, I don't know if anybody else noticed this on round 0 in particular. There does seem to be quite a good amount of leeway. I saw some people saying that they thought the jumps were too peaky, but I can come up short or case or just get the front wheel over on a lot of these jumps and ride away from it absolutely fine. So I don't know if that's just suspension issues or what's going on there, or if they're not just landing correctly to be able to absorb a case. But I haven't noticed too much in the way of that. I do think these tracks are pretty damn forgiving in that sense. If I could downside that initial double coming out of there better, I would definitely think I'd have the forwards momentum to be able to dribble through there. I'm almost tempted. Do I do it? Editor note for myself when I'm reviewing this footage. Right here, put in a clip of me doing that on a Fantic as fast as I can to see if it's actually possible or not. The reason I chose the Fantic for that, if nobody was aware, the Fantic 450 is the fastest 450 in a straight line in this game, which is why you're seeing a lot of the top 450 boys at the moment giving it a go. And especially at Washougal, there was a lot of people riding the Fantic. So whilst everyone hates me for making everybody ride a TM in 250s, I feel like we have to blame Troy a little bit for the 450 side of things. There's, as soon as one of the fast boys finds out about it from a video that gets uploaded and give it a go, once they do well, everybody's onto it. And there's been a lot of discussion in aerial pits specifically over the last couple of days about banning certain bikes and certain meta bikes. And at the end of the day, whatever you ban, there's just going to be a next best one anyway. I think if we take 450s, for example, if you ban... So obviously the beta's already banned, just because it's broken. The OEM team have admitted that it's broken, although I don't know when, if ever, we're going to get a fix. But let's say you ban the Fantic, people will then just ride the Yamaha. Say you then ban the Yamaha, people will then just ride the KTM. Say then you ban the KTM, people will just ride the Husky. And I think you'd have to ban the Yamaha, Fantic, KTM and Huskies. You have to get rid of 4 bikes for then there to be a variety of bikes. Because after those, I feel like the Suzuki, Honda, Gas, Kawi... I'm going to completely write off the TM 450. I think it's a bag of dicks. But those other ones, I think they're very, very all close to each other. Like, they still have their own different personalities and characteristics. They all handle differently. But in terms of overall speed to each other, they all feel very, very similar in my opinion. Oh, there we go. Big quad there. And then triple again. Yes, triple into the corner. That's the fast line. That felt so much better. And I'm almost 2 seconds up on my previous best lap from there. And we're going to step over this. Step down. I think it's probably quicker if you're not 110% sure about quadding that to just go to triple and then scrub the single on the way out. You're going to go triple in here, quad all the way before the whoops, shift up with a couple of gears so you can get the bike skimming across the top of these better. I don't think what I'm doing by following the entirety of the outside of the corners is the fastest, but I'm just in it right now to be safe, to make sure that I hit the lines I'm meant to. I think the really fast boys will end up apex in the corners, you know, like starting out wide, cutting across the inside, drifting out wide again. Like how easy this quad is at the end here, can make anybody feel good about themselves and feel fast. I'm going to go triple in. I'm just going to triple this time, because I don't think I've quite got the skill to be able to quad after that. So whilst we're still on a fairly smooth lap, we'll keep it going. You might also be able to quad that whole section as well, depending on what line you take in the corner before. Maybe if you rail the outside in the corner before, you'll be able to do that. Little switchback to the left, to the right, double, triple into here. Try and track around this corner as smoothly as you can. I don't know what the best way is through here. I keep doubling in. I'm wondering if it's better to swing out wide a little bit more and then triple in instead. Then you've got a very, very fast-paced double here. Try not to scrub too hard. Either way, if you overjump that slightly, you are going to lose a bunch of speed because you're basically overjumping into an uphill. That's going to rob you of all kinds of momentum. And that was just a solid lap. Didn't set the world on fire by any means. But that was a 1 minute 44. So again, quite long lap times for a Supercross track. But that's what makes these fall more into the SMX category. And I do enjoy that. I think all Supercross tracks, even real-life ones, should be longer. I think that the SX tracks we get are way too short. I mean, some tracks that pros complete in like 45 seconds. It's just crazy work to me. I much prefer having, you know, when we had to do like regional type stuff when COVID existed in real life, and we'd do like 3 rounds in a row in the same place, just with slightly different track layouts. I liked when they went to was it Salt Lake, or was it like something like Atlanta as well, where they had really long, almost Daytona-esque style tracks. I like that. I think that should be the future of the sport, and SMX tracks in general just need to be more supercrossy. The issue right now, where they do on tracks, trips and stuff, and the layouts they use, a lot of it's just, well, here's one rhythm section, and we'll chuck in a couple of singles here and there. There you go, that's Super Motocross. I think Super Motocross should be a motocross length supercross track. Don't think I'm alone in that either. Try and quad. Oh yeah, the fast boys will be quadding that. We spin around, see if I can give that another go. Might even set a track marker as well. Feeling a little bit spicy right now. If I set a track marker right here, and I can double here and get a bit of momentum going, I think the easy way will be to go outside there, and then you can get the big slingshot to quad. But the fast boys aren't going to want to do that. What they're probably going to want to do is start out to the right, cut across it nicely, and then try and hit it like that. There we go. And then they'll probably step over here, and then try tripping into this corner, and then finish off the rest of their lap. Let me just quickly test. Can I triple in? You can triple in from there as well. Okay. There's lots of sneaky little lines here. That's what I'm liking. That's what I like about Hayden's tracks. There's always something different that you can do. And I think there, if you go triple in, you can then step over that table and then double into the corner for the end. So if I was to try and guess, I think I was pretty much bang on last week with my predictions for lap times for top of qualifying. If I was to guess, I've had a 144 there. I don't know if I see people going below a 140, but I do see people getting a 140. So 140 something might change there. But we'll see. A lot of times I don't like using the word, because some people will call bullshit on it, but sometimes there is an element of luck involved, because sometimes you can just have a quote-unquote lucky lap, and everything that you do just works out perfectly, and the stars align, and it all goes well, and you get away with maybe some bullshit that you shouldn't get away with usually. Boso blesses you for once out of the 100 times that he doesn't bless you, and that's just the way the game goes. But I think this is a much better track than the pre-season track was, which surprised me. I thought the pre-season track, if anything, in any series would be like the all singing, all dancing, this is what you're going to get each round. But I'm vibing with this one a hell of a lot more. Just overall track layout and flow is a lot nicer, like a hell of a lot nicer. It's more, it feels a bit more open, which I think a lot more of the top guys are really going to vibe with. So hopefully we see a very full lineup, and I will be commentating this later on tonight. If you're watching this video the day of release, it's going to be at, I'm going to go live at 7:30 PM my time, which is about 8:30 PM for most of the rest of Europe, and then that is, I think, 2:30 PM EST for the Americans as well. So hope to see you there. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do drop a like if you enjoyed it. It means more than you can imagine in trying to get it boosted up through the algorithm and to get YouTube to push the video out to more and more people. So thank you in advance if you do so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and want to see more of my content, and catch you in the next video. Peace.